Have you ever felt that little voice inside your head telling you that you're not good enough? Or maybe that you're better than everyone else? That's your ego. It's the gatekeeper to your inner peace. And for most of us, it's the one holding the keys without our permission. Think about a time you got a negative comment on a social media post. That rush of defensiveness, that burning desire to fire back with an even sharper retort. That's your ego acting up. Or maybe you had to be the one to win an argument, even when you knew deep down you were wrong. Sound familiar? We've all been there. It's a part of the human experience that we often accept as normal, but it doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to dive deep into what the ego actually is, why it's the biggest obstacle to a happier life, and more importantly, I'm going to give you 5 practical, no-nonsense strategies to quiet that voice and finally find some true inner peace. By the end of this, you'll have the tools to recognize your ego in action and the power to take back control of your life. So, let's get started. Understanding your ego versus self-confidence. First, let's understand what the ego really is. A lot of people think ego is just about being arrogant. While that's a big part of it, it's so much more. Your ego is the identity you've created for yourself, the persona you present to the world. It's the part of you that tells stories like, I'm a successful person, I'm a great leader, or I'm a talented artist. These aren't inherently bad. The problem starts when you believe these stories are the entire truth of who you are and you tie your entire sense of worth to them. This is where the confusion with self-confidence comes in. Self-confidence is a quiet, grounded knowing that you have skills and abilities. It's stable. It doesn't need applause or external validation. It's the calm feeling of, I know what I'm doing. Ego, on the other hand, is loud, fragile, and insecure. It constantly needs external praise to feel validated. A self-confident person doesn't need to win every argument. Their worth isn't tied to being right. But the ego, it needs to be the smartest, the most successful, and the most important person in the room to feel okay. When you can tell the difference between these two, you're already halfway there. Now that you get what it is, the first step is to learn how to spot it. It's like seeing a wild animal in the distance. The moment you see it, you can stop reacting to it. I want you to start a simple practice. Observe your thoughts without judgment. So, you're in a conversation, and someone says something that gets under your skin. Instead of immediately firing back, just notice the feeling. Oh, there's that feeling of defensiveness. That's my ego trying to protect me. You're not fighting it. You're just watching it. That simple act of observation creates a little space between you and your ego. That's where your power lies. The ego's deepest fear and its impact. Before we get to the strategies, let's talk about the ego's deepest fear. It's the fear of being insignificant, of not being special. Your ego creates all these stories and personas to protect you from this feeling. It's why you might feel devastated by a little criticism or get overly competitive in a harmless game. The ego sees anything that threatens its carefully constructed identity as a direct threat to your very existence. When you understand this, you can approach your ego with compassion, not hostility. It's like a scared little kid inside you, trying to protect you in all the wrong ways. This fear manifests in many ways. It's the reason we compare ourselves to others on social media, the reason we feel an urgent need to prove our worth, and the reason we get caught up in endless cycles of comparison and jealousy. The ego constantly whispers that you're not doing enough, or that you're somehow better than someone else. This is a losing game. The ego will never be satisfied, and chasing its validation is a road to unhappiness. 5 strategies to master your ego. The first and most crucial strategy is to cultivate self-awareness. This is the foundation for everything else. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings throughout the day. When you feel yourself getting angry, jealous, or overly defensive, take a moment, even a few seconds, to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it because my ego feels threatened? This simple act of pausing helps you break free from the ego's automatic responses. A great way to start is by setting aside just 5 minutes each morning to sit quietly. Don't try to empty your mind. Just notice what thoughts come up. Don't chase them. Don't judge them. Just notice. This is a mental exercise that builds your awareness muscle. The second strategy is to reframe your perspective. Your ego loves to create stories about how you've been wronged or why you're a victim. Let's learn to rewrite those narratives. For example, let's say a coworker gets the promotion you wanted. Your ego might say, "They don't deserve it. You're a failure." Reframe it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What skills can I develop? Maybe this opens up a new, better opportunity I didn't see before. This isn't about ignoring your feelings. It's about choosing a more empowering story. It's about moving from a victim mentality to a proactive growth mindset. Every time a negative thought about yourself or others pops up, try to find a different angle, a more compassionate or constructive one. The third and perhaps most powerful strategy is to practice gratitude. The ego is all about what you lack. Gratitude, on the other hand, forces you to focus on what you already have. It's impossible for the ego to thrive when your mind is filled with appreciation. It can be as simple as this. When you wake up, before you check your phone, name 3 things you're grateful for: the roof over your head, a good cup of coffee, the fact that you're healthy enough to be watching this right now. Gratitude starves the ego because it can't create a story about your shortcomings when you're busy appreciating your abundance. Try keeping a small gratitude journal by your bed and write down 1 new thing you're thankful for every night. And for the fourth strategy, we need to talk about listening without interrupting. We all have this habit of wanting to give our opinion in every conversation. That's a classic sign of the ego, which wants to make sure your voice is heard and valued above others. But real power comes from listening. When someone is talking, just listen. Don't think about what you're going to say next. Let them finish. A great way to practice this is to try to summarize what the other person said back to them before you respond. When you do this, you weaken the ego's grip and build deeper connections with others. You'll be surprised by how much more you learn when you're not busy waiting to speak. And the final strategy. We all fear criticism. When someone points out our flaws, our ego immediately wants to get defensive. But you have to learn to embrace constructive criticism. See it not as an attack, but as a gift. Someone is giving you an opportunity to get better. When someone points out a mistake, thank them and reflect on it. This not only weakens your ego, but also builds your capacity for growth. The next time you receive feedback at work, instead of arguing, try saying, "Thank you for that. I really appreciate you pointing it out so I can improve." Putting it all together, a daily practice. So how do you actually apply this? It starts with a simple daily practice. Wake up and spend 5 minutes on gratitude and self-awareness. Throughout the day, when you feel that ego flare up, maybe you get a frustrating email, take a breath, notice the feeling, and then choose to reframe your perspective. In conversations, challenge yourself to be a listener, not just a talker. And when you do get feedback, practice embracing it as a gift, not a threat. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a muscle you build over time, and every single time you choose to practice, you get a little stronger, a little more at peace. Final thoughts and call to action. We started this conversation talking about that little voice that can make us feel insecure or overly superior. We've now identified it as the ego, differentiated it from healthy self-confidence, understood its deepest fear, and armed ourselves with 5 powerful, actionable strategies: self-awareness, reframing your perspective, practicing gratitude, listening, and embracing criticism. This isn't about eliminating your ego entirely. That's impossible. It's about putting it in the passenger seat and taking back the wheel. Start with just one of these practices this week. Pay attention to that voice. And when it shows up, just smile. Acknowledge it, and then choose a different path. Because true inner peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's the mastery of your own mind. If this video helped you, please give it a like. Share it with someone who might need to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel for more content on personal growth. Also, let me know in the comments below, which of these 5 strategies are you going to start with today? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.